Okay, we are recording. So this is for all of our young girls. So I got together with some of our company's top leaders that started this business really, really young. And I think that what we have is so, so special. Maybe you're on here to take back information to your team. Maybe you want to learn how to lead young people better. Or maybe you're young and you're trying to figure out how to be successful in this. I started this business when I was 18 years old. So many of, my team is young. So many of y'all are young, and so many people on the leaders that are speaking to you tonight are young too. So take notes, be super, super eager, listen to everything, because you're probably going to realize that a lot of us are going to have a lot of the same things to say. And you're also going to just take in so, so much from this. So I'm really, really excited about this. I am going to make sure, okay. Yes, this is recording. Okay, so I'm going to start off by telling you all a little bit about who I am. So if you'll also have any questions, I'll be sure to put them in the chat, and I'll go back in the end and make sure that they get answered. So to begin, I'm Cheyenne Knox. I'm a presidential diamond, and I'm 20 years old. I actually turned 21 on Saturday. So I have literally grown up in this business. I was 18 years old when I joined, 2 months over 18. It was in my senior year of high school, guys. So when I joined this business, there really was not a lot of young people in this business at all. My upline is Courtney Bohr. She's the first person to hit the top of the company 2 times, and she is the youngest ambassador in the company right now. Actually, I think it's Katie. I could be lying. Katie, how old are you? It could be Katie Bennington. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's probably Courtney Bohr. If not Katie, she's very young too. Someone told me that the other day because they corrected me, but Courtney Bohr was the youngest ambassador at one time. And so I joined her, and now we've always just, okay, so you may be. I'm not sure. I think it's really, really close, but I always told Courtney I was going to come in and kick her out of her spot, and she was always like, you know what, you do it. And so I am the youngest presidential in the entire business, which is super special to say, because that means that anybody can do this business. So when I joined, senior in high school, okay, I was on my Christmas break, and I came across this and was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I had seen other people doing it, but it's all about that connection that you make. Saw my upline posting about it and just felt like a God calling that I needed to do this. And so I trusted my instincts. I joined this business and I ran with it. I was talking to everybody that I knew. I was literally messaging everybody. I was so excited. I was ignorance on fire, and I went diamond in 5 months. So 3 days after I graduated high school, I earned the $5,000 diamond bonus. I was making a full-time income at 18 years old. Okay. And by the time this happened, I was like, what in the heck did I join? Like, is this even legal? I don't know. And I was just so excited because, guys, I didn't come from very much. I had 4 siblings. I grew up with my dad always working out of state. My mom worked all day long. I grew up in daycare, after school programs. $20 is a whole lot of money. I grew up on Kool-Aid and thinking that chicken and macaroni out of the box and ramen noodles was like the only thing, and Vienna sausages, like that was my life. And so I knew that I wanted more, and I knew that I was made for more. I knew that God had a bigger plan for me. And when I joined this and just caught on to the fact that I could do this at 18, and that I was about to go to college, and that I was going to be all on my own. Who on here went to school and was like, okay, I'm all on my own. Like, I got to make this work. Like, drop a 1 if that was you. Like, I knew I was going to have to pull out all the student loans. I was going to have to be broker than a joke. I was going to have to live off of ramen noodles, and I was going to have to figure out how to do it. And I didn't want to do that. And so I just got started and I ran with it. And so I was able to completely pay for college in cash. I paid for my car. I took over all the bills from my parents. And since the day I turned 18, I have not had to ask my dad for a single thing except for $99 to join this business, because I had 20 cents in my bank account. And he will always say, he tells everybody, no matter if we're at like Christmas or Thanksgiving, anytime we're around anybody, he's like, that's the best decision I ever made, because I've been able to help him. I've been able to give back. They say every 6 months something happens in your life. And 6 months later, after I joined this business, my dad lost his job, and I was able to completely financially support my dad. Like, who does that at 18? I don't know many people that get to do that. And that's because of It Works. I was able to do that. And so let me make sure let me mute this because I'm getting distracted. And so after my freshman year of college, I changed my major to marketing and realized that I did not want to be a nurse, that this was my calling, that God put this business on my heart to help people. And it wasn't going to be through nursing like I originally thought. And so I went double diamond. I went to conference, not even barely maintaining diamond. I was maintaining executive. I was on the struggle bus in my business. The very next month I went double diamond. 3 months later, I went triple diamond and then earned the $15,000 bonus. I just turned 20 that September, and in October, so 3 months after I went triple, I went presidential diamond and earned the $25,000 bonus. So from January, I went from making a $400 executive paycheck to October making a $25,000 presidential paycheck in a matter of 8 months. And so we are going to come on here and share with you our best tips on how to be successful and how to just completely take a business like this and a platform and completely change your entire life. So my biggest tips to you, I have a list of them. That was just, a very short version of my story, but I want to tell you that there is nobody, I can swear to this, that I got ridiculed so badly when I joined this business. Who else can relate? You have the unsupportive friends, the unsupportive family. You had those people mock you for what you were doing, that you started in a scam, that you did all this stuff. It's harder as a young person. And I know it never really gets better because people are always mean and always have something to say. But I swear when you're in high school, there's just something different. Like everybody's just an asshole. That's literally all that I got to tell you. It was terrible. And I got people tweeting about me. When I walked across the stage, people were saying, she needs a rap. Like, I got so much crap for joining this business. But something that I had that they didn't was an opportunity that was going to completely change my entire life. I had no idea what this business was going to do for me, but what I did know is that I had confidence and that I was courageous and that I was going to completely change everything for me. And so I pushed past it. I pushed past the negatives because now, guys, I had someone join my team like 3 or 4 days ago that made fun of me so badly when I was in high school. So I'm telling you now that in the moment, you're a beacon of hope to these people. And if you're able to sit there and work a business from your phone and be confident and have so much to share and so much to say and so much to do with this business, people are going to come back to you. And I promise you that. So I can tell you, one, that they're never going to pay your bills, and that when people have something to say about you, it's probably the biggest form of flattery because they're honestly probably just amazed at what you're doing, but they're afraid that they can't do that. I made a post about it today on Instagram about how we count ourselves out. Someone's sharing their screen. Julie, there we go. All right, we're good. And so I just wanted to share that with you, that we always count ourselves out from things, and don't count yourself out of this because you're young. And that's one of the other points I wanted to make is I lacked vision after I went diamond. The reason I hit rock bottom in my business because I lacked so much vision. I didn't know what I wanted because when I joined this, I saw everyone was married, everyone had children, everyone had the cars and the houses and all the things that I didn't have. They had these huge stories of paying off debt. And here I was, an 18-year-old who had no idea what I was doing. Guys, how many of you relate to that? You're like, well, what do I even talk about? I have nothing to talk about but my textbook or my, high school stuff that I'm doing. Like, I don't have a life. Guys, you have a story, and what you have is so powerful because you're writing it. You're writing your own story because of this business. You don't have to write it backwards of paying off hundreds of thousands of debt. We get to keep ourselves out of $100,000 of debt. And so I encourage you to know that you don't have to be the same as everybody. And that now, when I joined this business, there was hardly no young people. Like, Cassie's team was on the rise when I joined. There was Courtney, there was me. That was really it. And now look at how many we're doing a young people Zoom that's maxed out at 500 people right now. And it maxed out quick. So there are so many people that are young, and you do have a story to share. But I just encourage you to show people that was my why. In the Connect app, how it asks you what your why is, I literally put in there that I want to show young people that you don't have to live your life the way society tells you that you have to. You don't have to put yourself into debt. You don't have to be broke. You don't have to live your life backwards. Like, you can be 100% successful at 18 years old if you want to. And I'm living proof of that. And this whole Zoom is just a Zoom full of people that are young that literally live themselves backwards. They didn't have to put themselves into debt to buy the house, to buy the car, to provide for their children. Like, I literally am starting a savings account for my future where I can pay cash for a house if I want to, but I'm literally just living it backwards. And so that's my story. I want just kind of a couple tips to share with you, but I'm so excited to hear from the next couple of people that are going to share their story with you, share their journey from being young. And so I'm just going to kind of go in the order of the graphic. So we're going to go to Katie next. I'm so excited for y'all to hear from this girl because she is amazing. She went ambassador this year, and so y'all have somebody on here. I'm pretty sure she's the only ambassador that we have on here. I could be lying. Don't yell at me if I am. But Katie, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and share your story with us and your biggest tips from being young and successful.
Yeah, hey guys, so I'm Katie Bevington, Ambassador Diamond, and I am so excited to be here tonight because you guys, I started at 19. And you know, when I got started in this, I was terrified. I totally tried to dodge it for as long as I could. My upline had messaged me 1,005 times asking me to start. And I kept shooting it down because I had no friends. I had a baby when I was 18. So I turned 18 and the month after I found out I was pregnant. So I had a baby. Me and my boyfriend at the time, then we got engaged. We were struggling really bad. We moved out on our own and we quickly realized oh my gosh, this is hard. This is really hard to live on your own and pay bills and take care of a baby and be in a relationship. How do you do all these things when I'm supposed to be going to college? And I don't know, we were drowning. And so when the girl asked me 100 million times, I was finally fine, yes, because I was at a point in my life where I was so sick and tired of not being able to afford anything. Luckily I had worked really hard when I was a teenager, and so I had a little bit of money saved up and we were able to kind of live off of that, but it was running out. And you know, my husband, fiance, whatever at the time, was working a ton of hours, 60, 65 hours a week. I never saw him. I was either at school, nursing school, or I was studying or trying to take care of the baby, and then I was trying to see my husband for 5 seconds. And then life just sucked. And we had an extreme coupon to pay for food. We were doing all of the craziest things, you guys, to save money, being able to just everything. It was nuts. And so I got started, and I was you know, I was one of those really annoying people who asked a lot of questions. I was really shy. I barely posted because I was so embarrassed. People made fun of me. I had posts made about me. I had people just texting me are you an idiot? You're gonna die from this stuff. So many nasty comments. And you know, I was so nervous to go public with it. And so I got my 4th loyal customer on my 30th day. I was not a fast starter, and I went Ruby 4 months in, and then I went Emerald the month after that, and then shortly after I went Diamond and Double Diamond. And at that point, I was literally cloud 9. I had so much confidence, and I just really getting to Ruby was something I never thought I would even do. So getting to Ruby was huge, and Emerald, and then I'm dude, I can do this. And then I got really confident when Diamond, Double Diamond, and then a year later, Triple, and then about a year and a half later, Presidential, and then Ambassador. And so it's been a journey, but you know, the biggest thing that I had to learn was how to manage my time, because again, I'm a teen mom, and my husband was working a lot of hours, and I was a full-time nursing student. And so I had to figure out how I was gonna do all of those things and not, one, lose all the time with my baby, because she was, you know, obviously the most important thing in my life. So I'm trying to make sure I had time with her. And so I learned time management. I knew that busy people have got to put things in the little crevices of their day, and nothing was a non-negotiable for me. I was a straight A student while I was in nursing school. I made sure that came, and I studied. I did all the things right, and then I was making sure I had time for the baby, and then time for, you know, Zach at nighttime. And so it was hard. I was busy, and I didn't have time for life at the time. I couldn't do any extra things, but that time of sacrifice paid off so much for me and my family. That first year was so hard. And that first year was where I determined that God didn't put me on this earth to be a nurse. I'm here to care for people, to help people, but I'm not meant to be in a hospital setting. And so he showed me that through this business. And after I hit my year mark, that's when I was you know what, I'm going to pursue this instead of nursing school. And that's when I went Diamond to Double Diamond. And it was nuts. Everybody, again, said, you're an idiot, you're crazy, there's no way that this is gonna work. Long term, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. And you guys, now I make Ambassador Diamond pay average of $33,382 a month at 24 years old. I just turned 24 2 weeks ago. And so all that to say, I'm still here, and I'm making way more than I was when I decided to stop. And I just believe in myself. So anything that anybody had to say about me was just okay, fine, but you're not offering to put food in my baby's belly. You're not willing to go over here and put, you know, clothes on her back and pay my bills. And when, you know, I get a flat tire, I don't see anybody offering their debit card. So I did what was best for my family, and I got laser focused on my goals. I was so tired of being broke, so tired of struggling, that honestly, it was just time for me to do something different. And so now, kind of like Cheyenne just said, the people that make fun of me, they're like, hey, so what do you do exactly? Because I really, like, I'm struggling and I would love to have some of that in my life. So they're wanting to start now. And you guys, some people started like a couple months, you know, after they started seeing me make some money, and some people now, 4.5 years later, are like, hi, yeah, so like, can I get some info? So you need to focus on your goal, and you need to shut everything out. If your mom or dad has something negative to say, cut them out. My dad didn't even support me until I was a triple diamond. A triple, y'all, like over $10,000 a month. That's when he paid attention. And so my spouse did not support me in the beginning either. He paid attention when I made my first diamond check. When he really saw the money coming in, that's when his attention was like, wow, you know, you can do this. This is real. And now obviously he doesn't work. He's home full time with us. So, you know, I really want you guys to know and focus on what it is what are you here for? Focus on that. Cut everything else out. All the negative goes. Do your journaling daily. Stay focused on that goal. Just get so pumped up about it, and don't let anything get in your way, and go as hard as you can, even if that means sacrifice, even if that means a few things just gotta wait, then you can do it. You don't need a fancy story. You don't need flashy things. One of the best things that I learned was one of my triple diamonds now, you guys, she started over a post I made about $40. I make $33,382 a month as an ambassador diamond. Nobody cares about that. They care about the $40 to fill their gas tank. They care about the $50 to buy diapers and to put food on the table for their family. So focus on the small things, and the big things will follow.
Fire. I couldn't get myself unmuted. I was like yelling already. That was so good. Who was feeling it? Because I am. Okay, we are going to go on to Morgan. Thank you so much, Katie, for that. Was amazing. Morgan, if you are ready to go ahead and share your story and all of your best tips with us.
I don't know how I'm going to follow that. That was really good.
I know.
Yeah, cute shirt, Katie. I love it. Cute jacket. But yeah, okay, so I'm Morgan, and I'm a presidential diamond with the business. I've been in for almost 5 years. Next month, it'll be 5 years. And I joined this business whenever I was 20 years old. I was a broke college student. I was working 2 jobs, so 65 hours a week, while I was going to school full time to be a sign language interpreter, AKA I could not work the business while I was in class, or else I wouldn't know what was going on, because they signed in class the whole time. So I definitely had to like work this business into my schedule, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But I was so busy. I had also just moved across the country. I'm originally from Mississippi, but now I live in Michigan. I had just moved a couple of months before that. I didn't know anybody in this area, but I had started school like 2 or 3 weeks before. So just long enough to make myself busier, but not long enough to know enough people yet. One of my jobs was a nanny. I didn't even have coworkers. I didn't have the money to get started. So I literally had every reason not to do this business, but I looked at them as all reasons why I needed to. And so I never let those things become an excuse. I never let time become an excuse. I never let money be an excuse. I never let not knowing enough people become an excuse, because that's why I did this. And so I just got super serious about doing this. I got super excited. I didn't know what a chart looked like. I didn't even know anything about Ruby. I do not suggest that. I do suggest knowing where you're supposed to be doing to hit Ruby, because you're going to get there a lot faster. But it's super important to make sure that you're just keeping it simple. All I knew that I had to do was just enroll customers and enroll distributors, and I'd make money. So that's what I did. And I went executive like 2 months into my business. I went Ruby 4 months into the business. And then from there, it just kind of was like super slow ever since. And that's okay. So I sat at Ruby for a year. And then they had the Mexico cruise. I don't know if anybody, probably none of you were on this, I don't know, in this business during that time. But they had a cruise to Mexico, pretty much like the incentive trip that they're doing right now, which is really cool. But I went into that trip, I actually earned it as a Ruby, which drop a 1 if you're a Ruby and you're like, dude, I want to earn this incentive trip to Margaritaville, but I feel like I can't do it because I'm only a Ruby. Okay, well, I went on the cruise as a Ruby, so you definitely can do that. But I earned that cruise, and I went into that cruise feeling ready to quit. I had no expectations for myself. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I felt really lost. I felt really defeated. I felt really discouraged. And so I went into that trip ready to quit, and I came out with this fire and this passion. And I went from Ruby to Emerald and then Emerald to Diamond in the same day in February of 2016, and quit all my jobs, earned a $22,000 bonus. And I was working 65 hours a week during that time still. And I was able to quit all my jobs. And then I haven't worked a job since then in corporate America. I've been able to do this business ever since. And so then it took me a year to go from Diamond to Double. And that was after conference. And then I got this fire 2 months later. I was like, I'm never going to sit at a rank for a year again. Went triple. And then it was like a year and a half later. So I did end up sitting at a rank for a year again. It's fine. And I went presidential last October. And then now we're pushing for ambassador, and we're super close. So I'm so excited. This business has changed everything for us, and me joining whenever I was 20 years old, the only thing that I wish that I had done was join sooner. So being young in this business is not a disadvantage. If anything, it's an advantage, because people always look at us and they're like, dude, I wish I had known about this when I was 18 or 19 or 20 or 21. And I wish I had known about this for 2 years before, because I totally would have said yes, because I know that this business has changed my life so much. So whenever I joined, I didn't have any support. Like my mom and dad like supported me. Like they were like, oh, like, you know, pat me on the head, like, good for you. Like, you know, do your little thing. Okay. Like it's not going to last. And they believed in me, but they didn't really believe in the company. And so they also didn't really have a lot of financial support as far as like paying for products. They didn't really have the means to do that. So they did not order products for me until I was a double diamond. So you have to remember, my story is pretty, I mean, it took me a while to go double diamond. So this is like almost 2 years into the business. They finally ordered from me, and now they order every single month, and they have since then. They love our products, but it took them a while, and none of my friends ordered. And actually, this is a really crazy story. So I joined in October, but I had earned, like, my upline, Susan Wade, she was doing like this incentive, and I had earned this incentive, and they gave us $300. That paid for a plane ticket for me to go see my family for Christmas. Cause like I said, I had moved across the country. So I hadn't seen them since May of that year. So I went and flew down. I met all my high school friends to hang out with them for our like annual Christmas party. I walked through the door, and the first thing that one of my guy friends that I've known since I was like 4, he looked at me and he said, if you're going to talk about that stupid rap crap, you can get out and you can just leave. And I was like, well, I wasn't going to talk about it, but now I'm going to. So thanks for saying that. And so that right there was like a switch for me, because there's 2 things you can do when that happens. You can let it stop you, or you can let it motivate you. And I let it motivate me, because I was like, I will prove him wrong. I will show him that this is something that I'm going to be excited about, and something that I'm not going to quit. Because guess what? If I had quit, he would have been right. And I don't know about you, but I can't stand when somebody else is right. I have to be right. Like, I want to show him that, no, like, you can do this and you can be successful with it. So that lit a fire under me. And I think it's gone pretty well. And so then I didn't have support, but like the people that were making fun of me for doing this have all come back and apologized, because that's how mean that they were. They felt like they had to apologize. But they've all come back and said, you know what, like, we didn't get it before, and we still don't really get it now, but we're proud of you. Like, dude, you're killing it. They would have never said that had I quit. So don't let these people stop you, because you will never be criticized by someone working harder than you. Let that sink in. Like, you will never be criticized by somebody that's working harder than you. You going after your goals is often going to ruffle others. Sorry, I'm super ADD. It's going to remind people that they didn't go after theirs, and that they quit on their own goals. And so go after yours, because you're showing other people that it can be done. So for all the haters, you have 5 more people who are cheering you on and encouraging you, and who want to support you. So change your circle, change your environment, get around people who are going to be that support system for you, because they're out there, and a lot of it can be found within this business, because I have found true friends who encourage me to dream bigger and support me. And I didn't have that with my other friend group for a long time, but I didn't let it stop me. And now we've mended our friendships, and it's great. And they support me, and one of them even joined the business with me. So it's super cool. But let me see if there's, okay. So the other thing I wanted to talk about too really quick is, so if you are somebody who is in school and then you have to go to work, and then you still have to come home and work your at works business, drop a 2 below in the chat. Give me a 2 if you're somebody, or maybe you're not in school, but you have a job, and then you have kids, and then you have to come home and you have to work your business whenever you get home. Okay, stop. Stop doing that. You're compartmentalizing your business, and you think that you go to work, then go to school, then go home, then you work your at works business, and it's just not that way. When you are at school, you're missing every single person that you're sitting next to because you're not talking to them about the business because you think that you have to wait till you're home to sit on your phone and work the business. It's not like that. You can work the business while you're at school, while you're at work, and then you come home and you catch up on your messages on social media. This can blend into your life so easily, but you have to look for ways to make it work. I'd use the products while I was in class. Every single person that was in my class ended up ordering from me or joining the business with me. We just got back from Green Carpet. My teacher from my college was with us at Green Carpet because she's a distributor now. Because I was talking about the business, I was getting people added to my network while I was at school. So people were getting, like, I was getting customers and distributors from there. I wrapped people in the back room at Finish Line where I worked. So it's super easy to work this into your life. So I don't want you to compartmentalize this and think that you don't have time, because you do. We are all busy. So don't use that as an excuse. Use that as a reason to fuel you so that you can stop working 65 hours a week if that's your story, because it was mine. And I'm so glad that didn't let it stop me. So that's my story.
So freaking amazing. I love that you said that at the end too, because guys, I went to school at 6:30 a.m. every single morning, was at school all day long. I didn't have Wi-Fi because our social media was all blocked on our Wi-Fi. Went to school afterwards. Then I got out of school, had cheer practice until 6:30, drove 30 minutes to work, went to work until midnight, drove 30 minutes back home, still had to do, like, literally, I don't know how I did it because I went diamond in 5 months like that. So not only was Morgan busy, I'm pretty sure every single person you're going to hear on this Zoom was so freaking busy, but I meshed it all together. I talked to people at school because I couldn't use my phone. I talked to people at work. I had people come, I was a hostess, so people would come up to me while they were waiting. They'd ask, like, I'd always have like a bracelet on. I wore my It Works bracelet, and they're like, oh, what is that? Like, I just meshed it all together in like a pot and just did it all together at the same time. And that's how I think I was so successful at first, because I didn't compartmentalize it. And so that was such a good tip. Okay, so we're gonna go on to Brooke. I'm so excited for y'all to hear this girl's story because she is fire. So Brooke, if you can unmute yourself and share your story with us.
Okay. Hi guys. I look like crap because I literally feel horrible, and I contemplated whether or not I was gonna get on here, and I was like, you know what? If I want other people to get on here, I have to get on here even when I don't feel like it. So I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna show up. So I started this business when I was 19, 6 years ago, and at the same time when I started, I feel like I was one of the only young girls in here. I had no idea what I was doing. I got pregnant in high school, and right out of high school, I was in cosmetology school. Again, I was still pregnant, and you guys, I thought that's what I was gonna do. Like, I thought I was gonna go do hair. Well, I had my baby, and I was like, oh my gosh, no, I'm not gonna do hair. My husband joined the military to provide for us so I could be a stay-at-home mom. And a couple months later, we moved to Alaska with the military. Here I am with a baby, living in Alaska. I'm from Missouri. We had a 7-day notice, like we were moving from Missouri to Alaska, 7 days. Okay. I get there. I was presented this business opportunity. I had no need for, like, not that I had no need for this. This is something that I did not want to do. I didn't see myself being an It Works girl or selling something. I was 19. All my friends were in high school or in college. They lived with their parents. They literally had, like, when I first started, I was told, hey, message everybody. Do you want to try that crazy wrap thing? That's what I did. Okay. It worked then. I wouldn't suggest it now. But you know what my friends were saying? I have to ask my mom. Let me ask my dad. Like, my friends were so young, you know, that they literally were living off of their parents' income. And so I was like, how am I going to do this?
No, grandma.
So then I started reaching out to just different people, Facebook, doing the whole shebang, right? And I did get my 4 customers in my first month, and I did go Ruby in my first month, only because I started this business and we had $50 left in our bank account after we joined. We didn't have a whole bunch of money. We thought living in the military was going to be like bank. We were wrong. Okay. We had no idea. And so we spent $99. We had $50 left over for 2 weeks. You guys, it wasn't like we were rolling in the dough, okay? So when I spent $99 to get started in this business, I didn't just start this business and then the next day twiddle my thumbs. Like, I did what my upline said to do. She said, hey, message everybody, have you tried that crazy wrap thing? That's what I did. I went Ruby in 5 months. I went Ruby in my first month. I made $500 in my first month from doing that. But then the next couple months, a lot of people started making fun of me. They were like, oh, I thought you were going to go diamond. I thought you were going to make 1,000. You're only making 500. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're right. This sucks. This business sucks. I suck. And my paycheck started dwindling because other people, friends, family, they started telling me that $500 wasn't enough. And I let that sink in. And I was like, that's right. 500 is nothing. What am I doing? Like, why am I not further? And so for the next several months, I got lazy. I lost rank. I went from being paid as a Ruby back down to being paid as an executive. And I got in this really nasty place within my business. I was 9 months into my business, you guys. This is so important. And I only share this because I'm sure some of you have been in the same place. 9 months into this business, I was done. Like, I was like, I'm just going to quit. It's not for me. It's not working for me. Like, that was my favorite thing. I would tell my upline, it's not working for me. And I had a little kick in the butt that day, basically. My downline, she was a diamond at the time. So get this, I was going to quit. I had personally enrolled a diamond who was underneath me. Okay. How are you being paid? How was I being paid as an executive when I had a personally enrolled diamond right under me? I was being lazy. I was not working. And so my downline, I'm like, hey, this is where I was. Hey, downline, I'm going to quit. Good luck with your business. And she was like, are you crazy? Do you realize what you're going to miss out on if you quit? And so she gave me this big pep talk. I wouldn't recommend doing this with your downline, but this is what happened. And she was like, Brooke, you can do this. If you just get really serious with this business, you can absolutely do this. She's like, she was doing social media. When I started, you guys, social media wasn't a huge thing. I did a lot of parties face to face. I'm antisocial, like not wanting to talk to people in person. And so we did a little bit of Facebook, but my downline was doing everything on Facebook. And so she said, start messaging people, start posting more, do this, do that. I started doing it. But the biggest difference is I stopped being lazy. Instead of telling myself this business doesn't work for me because that was my favorite thing. No, I wasn't working for this business. I expected this business to pay my bills. But when I look back, and when I do look back, I was sitting around watching Pretty Little Liars. I was playing with my son all day. I was going on walks with the neighborhood girls, okay? I was not working this business, and it was not a priority. Therefore, that is why it was not paying me more than $200 a month, and I was making executive pay. Because I was lazy. Because I wanted things, but I wasn't willing to work for it. And so then I got out of that and I started working for this business. I started putting in the work. I started being consistent. I stopped complaining about what I didn't have and I started working towards what I wanted, right? And that's all I did. I just started working. I could have all the lazy excuses. I could have said this. I could have said that. My child this, my kid that. My husband didn't want me to be on my phone. I could have said all the excuses. And I just started working because I realized that if I wanted to change, I had to make the change. So you know what happened? I went from a $200 paycheck to a $12,000 paycheck in 60 days. And ever since then, that's how my business has been. A couple months later after that, my husband got out of the military because we financially were okay. You guys, that's what happens when you decide today that you don't want to no longer be where you are. When you're like, you know what, I'm done playing small. I'm done having excuses. I'm done watching Pretty Little Liars. I'm done watching Grey's Anatomy every single night. I'm going to work my business. And if you can't multitask, and maybe you put that off right now. You know what is a distraction to you. You know. I knew my distractions. And so realize what those are. Went from executive to double diamond in 60 days. Yes, my double diamond paycheck was $12,000. The average income can be way over or under. It goes both ways. Anybody complain about their paycheck? Oh, I didn't make my $500 Ruby paycheck. Well, the average goes up and down. So then the next year, so a year later, I went to my very first conference as a double diamond, and I promoted from double diamond to presidential diamond in 1 month. So my whole time in this business for the last 6 years, you guys, I'm a presidential diamond today. I promoted 2 times in this business technically because I went from executive to double and I went from double to presidential. Those are my times. And the biggest push that I had was going to conference. And let me just tell you this, because I'm also the girl that people see, oh, she's the girl who lost all the weight. Yeah, I lost 100 pounds with these products. And so if there's anybody on here who's self-conscious and you're like, I just don't feel confident, I don't know if these products work, I was in that place. You guys, I promoted to presidential diamond almost weighing 300 pounds. 300 pounds. When I started this business, I was 150 pounds. Okay. So people who seen me coming home, getting my husband out of the military, I had horrible posts made. Nobody supported me. They made fun of us. They made Facebook posts about us. And guess what? I promoted to presidential diamond looking like that because I didn't care what they said. I knew what this business could do. Guess what? I wasn't using the weight loss products. I was using the skincare. I was using hair, skin, and nails. I was using the facial products. And that's what I was selling. And then finally I got to a place where I was like, I'm tired of people questioning, does this business work? I'm going to show them. And that's when I got healthy. After I was a presidential diamond for 7 months in this business, I finally started using the products and got healthy, and I've lost over 100 pounds now. So that's kind of my story. And my biggest tips for you guys, don't waste any time. Okay. I wasted the first 9 months of my business. Yeah, sure. I got started. My first month, I went Ruby. Great. After that first month of this business, I jacked around for 8 months. I literally jacked around for 8 months. And obviously everything happens for a reason, but I truly believe if I would have gotten out and started immediately, I wouldn't be where I am today. Could I have been further? Could I have done more? I don't know. So today can be the night that you're like, I'm done playing small. It was one night for me, you guys. One night, one pep talk. I woke up the next day and I was done. And I went from executive to double diamond. Why can't you do that between now and December? You absolutely can. It starts with you, not your upline, not your downline, not your sideline. It starts with you. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to get up so that you can have the things that you say you want so badly? That's what I got.
I am so glad you decided to do this, even though you felt bad, because holy crap, y'all. 2 freaking times that you promoted. I didn't even know that, and I've known you for a while. We basically talk every day. I had no idea. I'm so shocked. Thank you so much for saying all of that. Kim, we're gonna go on to you, our little Kim Fireball. Tell us all your tips, sister.
I'm like sweating over here. Like I feel like do I have to yell too? I'm like, this is so good. Hey guys, my name is Kim Chipak. I am 27 now, but when I started the business, I was 22. I'm a presidential diamond now, but we are claiming to be New Jersey's first ambassador team ever. Putting that out there before conference. We're super excited. So yeah, I've been in the business for a little bit over 4 years now. Yeah, I started April 2015. I was a senior in college, and you know, I was like one of those like 5-year students, not like the 4-year people. Like me and school did not do well together. It just wasn't ever my thing. So I was like almost prolonging it. I feel like graduating because I didn't want to go out and get into the real world. Like I was super afraid of it because from what I know, my family and friends that were already there, you know, they just were not happy. And you know, like I love having fun. I'm definitely like red, blue. Like I love having fun. I love having a good time. But I also know that like life is just way too short. I lost my dad when I was in high school and to cancer. And I just like, after that, it changed me. And I kind of had a vision, you know, right from there that, look, whatever I do moving forward, it's something I want to love. It's something I want to be passionate about. And with all that being said, like just totally prolonged going into that real world. So, or corporate America, I guess you should say. So, because this is like the best real world. Can I get an amen? This is the best real world there is. So I found this business just scrolling through Instagram. I watched a girl for 8 months post about hair, skin, nails, finally saw her making a lot of money, reached out to her. And I mean, game over from there because I knew that this was going to be my vehicle. I was praying for something to come in my path that I was passionate about because I was about to graduate. And I was like, crap, what am I going to do? So I did end up going into corporate America for a short 3 months because I was doing this business simultaneously and was also working at a restaurant on nights and weekends because I was just funding my life. You know, I didn't get help with anything, you know, like Cheyenne said earlier, you know, just kind of doing my own thing, had to always be independent ever since my dad passed. So, you know, I took this baby by the horns. I really did. And I saw it from day one. Now, does that mean I was confident in myself from day one? Absolutely not. I will be transparent and let you guys know, because nobody's touched on this yet. And I'm trying to add, like, you know, because I could say all the same things and agree with everybody totally 100%, but I want to add, like, flip it a little bit and let you know that my enroller was not helpful at all. She enrolled me, she patted me on the back and was like, good luck out there. She wasn't very a part of It Works culture. When I went to conference with her, you know, we sat in the very last row because she just couldn't support others that were on stage. And I was just quite the opposite. I caught the vision as soon as I walked in. And so know that you don't necessarily need to have a successful enroller who knows exactly what they're doing in order for you to be successful at this. You know, what she did in her business was never going to determine how my path was going to look. And so we have amazing leadership in this company. If you look left, right, above, below, like there's people everywhere. And that's why I applaud you guys so much for being on this Zoom tonight, because that is where it all started for me. I made sure that I poured into myself through YouTube videos. I was searching all the top leaders. I was like following them on social media and just copying the right cats. But guys, I got addicted to watching what they had to say, what their lifestyles were like. And I remember laying in bed every night, and the last thing I would do before I shut my eyes was I would search a YouTube video from a top leader and watch it. And, you know, that really was the catapult to my success and why I went diamond in 4 months. And it wasn't just necessarily because, you know, I mean, again, I could agree with everybody. I didn't have family and friends that supported me. They thought I was in a pyramid scheme. You know, all the things, you know, I totally agree with Morgan. Like, I hate when people tell me I can't do something. I'm going to prove you wrong. So with all, you know, we all have all that in common, but I do like just have it on my heart to let you know that you can go out there and do it without somebody holding your hand. Okay. So that was one note that I had written down. I kind of got off track, but yeah, I went Ruby, you know, in my first, 2-3 months. I went diamond in my 4th month. Why did I go diamond in 4 months? Because I carried my chart around with me everywhere I went. Like, I'm not talking like have it on your screensaver, your background. Our screensaver is even a thing anymore? Probably not. I think I'm like the oldest young person on this Zoom, but so I'm honored to be here. But, you know, like, having it digitally, guys, it does not compare to having your chart out in front of you, because I would carry that diamond chart around, guys, and it would have coffee stains on it. It'd be wrinkled, like all the things, eraser holes in it. But I got so pissed off when I didn't see those boxes filled with names. I needed to make it happen. And so, like, the eraser came out and I would update the customers and all this. You need to have that roadmap, guys, in order to get to where you want to go. I know I don't have much more time, but I did want to share with you that, yeah, my vision was always present, you know, through events and through the YouTube videos. I carried my chart around. You know, balance, you're never going to find it, guys. Like Morgan said, you just need to incorporate it into your life. You don't need to become a walking It Works billboard in order to be successful at this. Actually, please don't do that. We don't want you to do that. You want it to be incorporated into your life and show other things. So, you know, by going about your daily life, you know, with the beauty of stories, which we didn't have that when I started, you can incorporate your life and the business at the same time. It's beautiful. But I just wanted to share with you guys something, because I know when all of us are talking about the amount of money we're making and how fast we promote it and like all the big numbers, it's intimidating. And I hear you on that. Okay. I am there with you. I'm going to, you know, get down to everybody's level. Like, that's scary. And I remember hearing that and being so scared. So what I can tell you that you can do is be addicted to the small wins throughout the journey, and make sure you're not, you know, you obviously want your long-term goal. You want your 5-year plan. You want your 1-year plan. Where are you going to be at the end of 2020? But what are you going to do tonight when you get off this Zoom to catapult you into the next day? You know what I mean? And that's one thing that, my upline's Ashley Sinclair, and the biggest advice she's ever given me is that God's mercies are new every day. And so you can't bring your baggage of what went on yesterday, the customer that canceled, the person that told you no, the negative distributor you have on your team, you can't let that bleed into the next day. So, because of that, and because I've been able to stay super consistent with my mindset and making sure that I treat every day as a brand new gift, I was able to go on my journey to presidential and not just stay at ranks. I dropped ranks, guys. Like, it happened. You're gonna get stuck. This is business. But the one thing I can say that I did, and my biggest tip, is to stay consistent even when you're in the valleys. Because of me being consistent, no matter where my business was at, I'll be honest and transparent, my volume is not great right now. Like, it is not, but I'm so positive because I know that staying consistent in the valley will get me those insane raises, the next wave of momentum that decides to come in. And because of that, I want to share some numbers with you guys. January of last year, guys, January of 2018, my paycheck was insert income disclosure here. My paycheck was $3,000, guys. And because I stayed consistent and committed to the business, in March 2018, 2 months later, I hit $13,000. So in 2 months, 60 days, a $10,000 raise. By August, I was making $18,000. So look at it this way, 8 months for a $15,000 raise. Don't you want to stay consistent? You guys can't give up, all right? I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me share my stuff. I can't wait to hear everybody else.
Thank you, Kim. That was so bomb. Love you. And she's definitely going to be the first ambassador in Jersey. I don't doubt it. Okay, we're going to hear from Courtney. So unmute yourself and tell us all about you, sister.
Hey, you guys. So I'm Courtney Williams. I'm a triple diamond. I am 21 years old now, but I joined at 19. I had just finished my freshman year of college. And just like Cheyenne was saying, I was the type that my parents were not paying for my college. And they let me know that, like, at the time that I knew college was a thing, I knew that I was going to have to pay for it. It was never on the table that they were going to pay for it. And they couldn't. And I was totally fine with that. They shouldn't have to go into debt for me to be able to get my degree, right? Like, that was my mindset too. And so I 100% wanted to do it. I was like, yes, okay, I'm going to be responsible. But I was like, how the freaking heck am I going to do that, right? And so I saved up during high school. I was the girl that was like, no, I can't go get ice cream because I'm going to save my money to go to college. And so I had, like, I don't even know how much saved up. And I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm not going to be in debt. I'm going to be this debt-free college student. Cool. Okay. So then I go to college, and my first year, I literally spent my whole savings. And it was to the point where I was like, okay, like, first year done, how the heck am I going to pay for my next semester? And that was my point where I was so desperate and stressed. And I would sit at my part-time college job. I would sit there with my bank statement pulled up, with like my pay stubs for my part-time job, like adding in babysitting gigs, like trying to add it up literally on a calculator to see if I would even be able to afford the next semester. And every single time it came up short. And I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna have to get loans, I'm gonna have to take out debt, or I'm gonna have to ask my parents for help. I don't know. They were already like putting like $200 in my bank account every 2 weeks. And I was like, I freaking hate that. Like, I like being able to be independent, but I couldn't freaking do it because of the way that society tells us to live our lives, right? And so I joined right after my freshman year of college. And you guys, I was not just taking 12 hours a semester like normal people do. Like, you have to take at least 12, right? No, I was taking 18 to 21 hours every single semester. And so my class load was like 6 to 7 classes a semester. And so I had all those classes to go to every day. I had all of that homework to catch up on, all those papers, all this stuff. And on top of that, I was in a sorority and had a part-time job on top of that. Like, drop a 2 in the chat if you're in a sorority, because I want to know who on here is in a sorority, because I'm about to talk about that. Because you guys, do you know how many people, okay, so you all are talking about your friends and family aren't supporting you, but do you go home to a house full of 50 women who are all judging you? Like, that was my life, and I literally joined, and I went home and told my mom and my sister, I just joined, I'm so excited. And they were like, you're never going to make money. And so I was like, okay, watch me. And then I went home to my sorority, and all these girls are making fun of me. And I was like, okay, watch me. And that is my challenge, that if you are in that position where people are telling you you're not going to be able to do it, that should be the number one thing that's telling you, freaking watch me, because I'm about to do it and you're about to eat your words, okay? Because that was the fire underneath me. And I truly believe that if my family would have been like, oh, good job, like, we're so proud of you, you're going to be amazing, I don't think that I would be where I am right now, because I wouldn't have that drive. And so instead of using that to be your excuse and to hold you back, use that to push you forward, because it 100% can. Every single struggle or obstacle that you have can either hold you back or it can, you know, propel you forward. And so use that to your advantage. And so I had unsupportive family, unsupportive sorority sisters, and my goal was literally to prove them wrong. And to this day, I'm still trying to prove them wrong if they still don't believe me, because I'm still going and they're still sitting there. And what I always like to say is, like, people are always watching you. They're either going to be supporting you or they're not, or they're going to be against you. And so, you know, I'm just here to say, all those people who don't believe me and who aren't supporting me, I'm not going to let them be like, oh yeah, we were right. Like, we were right. She didn't do it. She quit. Like, we were right this whole time and this business isn't real and blah, blah, blah. Like, no, I'm going to go prove those people wrong. And I'm never going to let those people who didn't support me be able to be the ones that make me quit, and then be able to have the satisfaction of saying that I quit. And so that was really what lit my fire. And then as for my school schedule and fitting everything in, because obviously, you know, I had all those classes to go to, I had homework, I had sorority meetings, I had different events for that and all that. And honestly, it just comes down to sacrifices and what are you willing to give up or cut out, or, you know, your life might be a little crazy and hard at that time when you're so busy. But now look where I am. You know, I went from, you know, I would wake up literally at 6 a.m. I'd be the first person up in my sorority house. I swear to goodness, it was like, there was nobody, and I was up working my business before I had to leave for class, okay? And I would get home from class and I would be sitting at my desk working, and people would be like, do you want to go like get ice cream? And I'd be like, I can't go right now, like I can go later or whatever. Like, just making those sacrifices, because we all have time in our days, whether you believe it or not. Everybody says they're busy. Whether they're really as busy as you or not, everyone says they're busy. And so you have to find those times of not necessarily a blank time where you're just sitting there, but where are those little sacrifices that you can be like, okay, I'm not going to watch that Netflix episode, or I'm going to stay up 30 minutes late, or I'm going to wake up 30 minutes early, or I'm going to be, instead of just walking home from class, I would literally be on my phone, like messaging people back or voice messaging people as I'm walking to class or from class or whatever. And so just finding those little pockets of time. And the other thing I wanted to say about people not believing in you is, people that judge you don't have the same belief that you have. So why are you letting them knock down your belief when you have more belief than they even have? That's why they can't wrap their mind around it. It's not because they don't believe that people are out there making 10 grand a month. It's the fact that they can't wrap their mind around it. So they don't even believe that you can do it. And so if you have that belief and you believe in yourself enough that you can do that, why are you letting somebody else who doesn't even have that same mindset as you, has less of a mindset than you, be the one to knock you down? Like, do not do that, because you're in a higher place than they are. Cheyenne, I think it was the one that said, you know, if they're like somebody who's, I don't even know what you said, just reference back to Cheyenne's quote about, you know, somebody who's doing more than you will never be the one to knock you down, you know? And so I absolutely love that. And, you know, I think my whole point was I just wasn't going to let people quit, and I wasn't going to quit on myself. And that's something that I've been telling my team lately is, are you seriously going to quit on yourself? Nobody else cares. Nobody else cares about your goals as much as you care about them. So do not quit on yourself is really the biggest thing. And I don't know how much time I have left, but I also wanted to say, because I sat at executive, I went executive my second month in the business, and I sat there for 8 months. And I say that because I want y'all to learn about what I did and did not do that made me stay there. And whoever was talking about, you know, they felt like that was 9 months of wasted of their business. That's how I feel. And I kick myself every day, because I could be a freaking ambassador right now if I would have used that time to actually be working my business and promote. But it was because I wasn't making those sacrifices. I wasn't being consistent. If there was a day where I felt like, oh, I don't really feel like posting, or people are being negative, I'm feeling really crappy today, I just wouldn't do it. And that's the whole point, is that you have to stay consistent. And I will beat that into every single person's head as many times as I have to, because as long as you're willing to be consistent, it will come. You know, the harvest will come as long as you're being consistent. And that's why it didn't come for me, because I wasn't being consistent. And there were months where I only enrolled 2 customers and didn't complete my steps to success. And, you know, that's why I sat there for 8 months, because I wasn't willing to put in the work to get the benefit or get the result out of it that I personally wanted. So I'm gonna stop talking before I go for like 15 more minutes, but
you're good. I'm the same. 7 minutes is hard to stay under. So thank you so much for those tips. Cammie, you are next, sister.
What's up, everybody? Who is fired up? Who's ready to crush the rest of this year? Drop a 3 in the chat. I know I'm fired up. I'm ready. I'm excited. My team's on fire. We're bringing the energy. We're bringing the heat, and we're going to crush 2019. Guys, my story's really different. I haven't even been in the business a year. I joined last October, at the very end of October, and I'm a triple diamond. So I joined, and I didn't even know the name of the company when I joined. I just knew I needed money, and I was ready to do whatever it took. I knew a lot of people were going to make fun of me, and I said that that's okay, but they're not paying my bills. They're not paying me. And so end of story. So I jumped in. I went Ruby my first month in the business. And then actually the next month after that, I lost rank because I didn't understand that, oh, you actually have to keep working to make money in this business. Like it didn't register for me. And so I lost rank in December. And then January, I went to my first conference ever. It lit a fire under me. I didn't know anybody in the company other than my enroller, Kelsey Thornton. And I met a lot of people at conference. And so it lit a fire under me. It gave me a sense of belief about myself that I never thought I would ever be the person I am today. And so I came home at the very beginning of February. I went diamond in February. I skipped emerald. I went diamond in February. In March, I hit double diamond. And then 2 months later in May, we hit triple diamond as a team. And now at 22 years old, I average 5 figures a month. Between 7 months of joining this business, not only did I go triple diamond, but I earned $51,000 in bonuses, guys. When bonuses are hopping, you guys got to be hopping. You got to get on those. You got to be ready. And so I'm kind of just keeping everything short and simple since I know we don't have a lot of time, but that is my story. Guys, I didn't have anybody believe in me. Nobody helped me. My dad, up until when I went triple diamond, hated that I did this. And I went to school. I was a full-time nursing student, and I worked full-time at a hospital in labor and delivery. So I had my schedule full. You cannot set aside a certain amount of time to work your business. You guys have to be able to do it. Like, I had to do it in between taking vitals at the hospital, during quiet time at the hospital, going to the bathroom for 5 to 10 minutes and people wondering where I'm at. That is when I worked my business. Different times of the day. I remember when Kelsey would call me and I would go run to the bathroom and talk to her because I'd be too scared not to answer her phone call. And so you guys can't set aside time, but you find time throughout your day to make it happen. And that's because you're committed. That's all it comes down to. I didn't have a skill set. I didn't know what I was doing, but my mindset was there. Have you ever heard, drop a 4 in the chat, if you've ever heard that to be successful in this business, it's 80% mindset, 20% skill? Because that is so true. You don't, like I tell my team all the time, because we are a young team. Like I said, guys, I've only been in 11 months. You have to have the mindset. If you don't do anything all day long, do your personal development, because that will make you want to work your business. That will make you want to get out of debt. That will make you want to get off food stamps. That will make you want to set aside money for your future family, like I am doing. I don't have a will. I'm not married. I don't have kids, but I have a future. And I'm never going to tell anybody in my future no, because I'm not willing to work right now. So guys, I lost a lot of friends. I don't have any of my old friends that I had before. I had people tweet about me, make fun of me, all sorts of things. And just stay true to who you are. You have to know who you are. You have to know where you're going. And those people that love you, they're going to love you despite whether you are in this business or you're not. And that's the biggest life lesson I learned, is at the end of the day, I know who I am, and nobody can ever say that I didn't care or I didn't love them. They can say all they want about me joining this, me doing this, that, but they can never say I didn't care, I didn't love, and I wasn't a good person. Stay consistent. That is the one thing that helped me. Guys, have tunnel vision. Know where you're going. Know what you want out of life, what you want out of this business. Have tunnel vision. Don't look left and right. I literally follow 3 top income earners on my social media because I'm not comparing myself to anybody. Comparison is the thief of joy. Every time I followed like 20 to 30 people at one point, and I started comparing myself so much right after I went triple. And I decided enough is enough. I stopped, and then the 3 people that I look up to the most, I still follow. And other than that, I don't follow anybody. I love everybody to death, but I just can't do it because comparison, I'm too red. I'm too red. And comparison kills my joy. Don't lose your pace, and love you on your team, guys. This is not about you, especially when you get up to triple diamond, double diamond. It's not about you anymore. It's about your team. I have people ask me all the time because I have promoted so fast. When's Prez coming? Prez is coming in 2019, but right now my team is eating before I eat. We're popping rubies. We're popping diamonds. They're eating. I'm not worried about me because I know my time will come. And that's what you guys have to look at too, is just love on your team. Bring the fire to them. Bring the love to them and show them what is possible. You have to want a promotion for them more than they want it for them, because they have no idea what they want when they first join. They have no idea what is possible, but you do, because you've been that. You've already climbed that mountain. You've already beat that devil. Teach them how to do that and show them that it's possible. And guys, other than that, just be yourself and just crush it. You guys already know what to do. You know to sign customers, you know to sign distributors, and that's how you're successful in this business. We know what to do. Let's just don't make it harder than it has to be. Love you guys so much.
Wow, Cami, bringing the fire. Y'all, we have one more person. Last but not least at all, we have Rachel Johnson. So if you want to unmute yourself and end the Zoom with a boom.
All right. Hey, guys. How's it going? My name is Rachel Johnson. I kept telling myself that I was 25, and then I just realized right before the Zoom, I'm like, you're 26. So really bad number. So I joined in March 2014. I was 21 years old. I was working 3 part-time jobs, 6 to 7 days a week, and I was going to hair school like 20 hours a week. So like I had a jam-packed like schedule. And it was one day after my job, I was going to hair school, and I just remember telling myself, I was driving through a light, and I was like, if this is what, like, my life is all going to be about, like, I want nothing to do with it anymore, because I just felt like I had no say over my life. You know, like, it was just consumed with school, schedules, and it wasn't something that I enjoyed. Compared to now, you know, I still have a busy schedule, but it's something that I thoroughly enjoy. So when you find something that you love, you're just going to be so passionate. You're not going to care if you're on the road like all the time. So I started this business, and I had no clue what I was doing, but I instantly made excuses because I really wanted it to work, but I kind of wanted it to work without me working. So I got to hair school, and I just had a lot of people just be negative. Like, people at hair school, I feel like, are really ruthless. I was like, oh my gosh, I just got a new job. And they're like, are you serious? Like, have you looked at yourself? Like, you can't even take care of yourself now. You got another one. I was like, no, it's like from your phone or something. And they're like, well, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's like it works or something. And like, she looked at me and she's like, she's like, are you kidding me? The girl on Days does that, and you're never going to make any money. It's a scam. Congratulations. You fell for it. And like, I just felt like shattered, because I've like come a long way when it comes to dealing with the opinions of other people. Like how it was before, like my life, my happiness depended on other people, how they felt about me. And that's just like what I knew. So to have that happen, like I was just like, okay, well, it's done. Oh, my family and friends don't support me. Okay, it's done. You know, then my boyfriend at the time, now fiance, you know, he was just like, so like, does it even work? And I was like, I don't know. I thought I wanted to make some money. I saw it on Instagram. I saw this $10,000 bonus, and he's like, oh, well, are you making money? And I'm like, well, no, not really. Like, you know, but like I wasn't working the business. So I had kind of like a later start. So it was about January of 2015. I started seeing all these videos from people from conference, and like, I was kind of like mad. I was a little bit jealous, you know, because I saw these people having success. They were younger than me. And I was like, why can't I have that? And I'm like a very like, it's now or never type of thing. That's how I started this business. I'm like, you're going to either do it and stop thinking about it, or just stop thinking about it and not do it. So I was like looking, I was like, I'm not happy with my paycheck, you know, but I see these people being successful, and I'm like, there's all these different types of people being successful. Why can you not? And I had like a come to Jesus moment. I was just like, you're lazy. You feel entitled that you work 3 jobs and you go to school. You're working hard enough that this should just work out for you. And that's just not the way it works. You want this to work for you, you got to work. And you got to stop caring what other people think, because guess what? You're more broke than you were before you started this business. And how happy are you? And I wasn't happy. Like, I just felt like, new year, new me. That's like always how I used to like say things. And it just kind of like slowly like went down. So I'm like, I don't care what I think. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I'm just going to do it. And my uplines majority, I feel like they posted on social media, but I think they did a lot of parties, because that's what kind of like pushed me away from the business, where she's like, okay, you're going to have this launch party. I'm like, the launch what? I don't really have any friends. I was like, and I'm so busy. I'm not having a party. Are you kidding me? And then I saw a video. It was from Jade Hooper, and I don't know how she popped up on my Facebook, but like I saw her video, and then I went to her YouTube channel, and I was like, oh my gosh, all of the success is like right here. So I legit just started watching these videos, watching them, and actually applying them. So that's one thing. I don't know if you all watch videos, but if you watch videos and you're learning stuff, you're taking notes on this Zoom, make sure that you're applying this to your business and that you're doing it, because you could hop on all the Zooms in the world, watch all these training videos, but if you don't do it, it's not going to work. It's just useless knowledge that you have. And I know that you don't want to waste your time, because we're all in this because we wanted more time with our family. We wanted, extra money, whatever that might be. So, I mean, yeah, just my biggest struggles was, lack of self-confidence. I mean, I couldn't do anything without somebody disagreeing. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't do it. But one thing this business taught me about myself was, loving myself for me and being okay with my awkward quirks and, stuff like that. Being okay if people didn't understand why I was doing what I was doing, because nobody did. I had one friend that supported me with her tax refund check. She bought something from me. She was like one of my first 4 customers. Other than that, it was just all on social media, and I posted a lot, but there was a lot of missing links to what I was doing. I wasn't messaging. I was messaging, but somebody would say no, and I'd be like, oh, my feelings are hurt. And then I wouldn't message for a week. And, I ignored my uplines. I just didn't know. So just a couple of things that I just want to touch on is that one thing that got me through fourth quarters and stuff, because last year was amazing, but you create your own success. And if you're not where you want to be right now, I want you to imagine maybe you haven't signed a customer or a distributor in a while, and you're just feeling really down on yourself. I encourage you to say, how do I want to feel in 3 months? How do I want to feel January of 2020? How do I want to feel December of 2019? Do you want to feel on top of the world? Do you want to have a team under you? Do you want to have people that you're inspiring? Okay, so what do you need to do right now in order for that to be able to happen? Because if you don't do anything, you're going to feel that way in 3 months. You're going to feel that way in a year, and you might quit because you're not doing anything. And I think it's action creates emotion or something like that. I didn't say it right, but you all get the gist of what I'm saying. And then being consistent. So when I restarted my business, I made a pact with myself. I don't care how I feel. I don't care what anybody else says, because everybody had something to say when I restarted. They're like, did you not learn your lesson the first time? And I said, I don't care. Whatever. I just don't care. It does not matter. So give yourself time to be consistent. Just because you started to be consistent for a week or a day does not mean that you're just going to instantly just blow up. It's going to take that time, but it's going to pay off long term. This is a long-term business that's going to pay your long-term bills. So give it time. But remember, if you don't put in the action, you're not going to get any type of results. And yeah, so I talked about overcoming my mindset, and that's something of just not feeling worthy sometimes. So I would hit ranks, and then I would just lose my rank because I wouldn't have a vision past that rank. I'm like, oh, I just got to go diamond. I just got to go diamond. I just got to go diamond. And I went diamond, and then it just all kind of crumbled. Because I didn't have a vision. I was just like, oh, I'm diamond. I made it. It's great. Well, it doesn't work that way. You still have to work. You still have to help other people, because, the people that got me diamond are not the people that, got us as a team, triple diamond, that's going to get us to presidential diamond. So I've just been dealing with, mindset, overcoming obstacles, and just know that whatever valley that you're in right now, it's going to allow you to grow. But you have to go through it, and you have to grow through it and not just go through it. But yeah, I don't know. I was just scared. I had to put money on a credit card. I didn't have the money. I tried to save money for 2 or 3 months. I'm like, oh, next paycheck. And I'm like, have you realized that you're just broke and you can't save money? How are you going to save money if you're broke? Because yeah, you start saving $5 or $10, but it's gone. And then I'm like, it's now or never. So maybe right now, you're watching the Zoom, and just decide right now, it's now or never, that you need to make this work for you. And you need to figure out either what you want or what you don't want to happen. And then I think Kim touched on this too, but just know that your uplines do not create your success. I had, I don't know, my upline, how many ever uplines? They just they all left. And, I thought it was just the worst thing in the world, but it actually turned into be the biggest blessing, because I stopped using them as a crutch. Well, they're not where, I was just I can do this. I don't need to leave. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to crush it. And then we went double, and then we went triple, and we're going to be going Prez next year, ambassador next year. And I'm just really excited for that. And just know that, like, you create your success. You create your success. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. Yes, you need your team and you need to love on them and help them and support them, but you create it at the end of the day. You have to be the one that's showing up, even if you're the only one showing up, because there was a lot of times I was on power hours with myself listening to music because I know that I needed to do it and I needed to hold myself accountable. So just know that your story's not done yet. You have to keep pushing. You need to figure out what you're doing, why you're doing it, and why you're not going to fail.
So freaking good, y'all. I freaking love the Zoom. How many of y'all are like got some value from it? You learned something from it? I want you to drop a 1. So good, you guys. I'm gonna leave y'all with a quote and something too. I wanted y'all to realize it's really evident right now. Okay, y'all are gonna like break the Zoom with how many 1s are being dropped right now. Oh my gosh. One thing I hope that y'all realize is that basically every single leader that spoke tonight mentioned how conference changed their business. Going to conference, being around like-minded people, seeing the vision of this company. I don't know if y'all saw the video, the Pentecost documentary. I watched it 5 times today, and I even made my boyfriend watch it. Seeing what kind of company you are a part of and seeing the vision beyond even what we can comprehend, like, you're in the right place. You're in freaking home right now. Get your butt to conference. I went to conference maintaining executive. I got Diamondback that month. I went double the next month. I went triple 3 months later. I went presidential 3 months later. Brooke went from double to presidential in 1 month from conference. Like, if you can't afford it, I don't care. I put my account negative $80 and like literally had no money to go back. Sell your clothes. Have an app that you can buy stuff from. Sell your TV. Like, I don't care what you have to do. Get to conference, because when you're around people like that, you see the vision, you can't afford it, and you cannot afford to miss it. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm going to leave y'all with a quote that Cami said at Green Carpet. It said, "In life, we arrive at mountaintops and we think we've arrived, but God has higher mountains ahead of us." And sometimes Jesus will say to us, "Hey, do you want to go up to that mountain?" And I'm just crazy enough to follow him there. But I expect a magic bridge to appear like Indiana Jones, and I picture myself running across it to the next mountain. But Jesus says to me, "Didn't you know that bridges are man-made? I did not make bridges. From mountain to mountain, I made valleys." I'm going to read that one more time. Jesus says to me, "Didn't you know that bridges are man-made? I did not make bridges. From mountain to mountain, I made valleys." Woo! I remember the first time I heard that, I nearly had tears in my eyes, because, guys, there's so many things you're going to go through along the way, whether it's negative people, whether you think you can't balance your schedule, whether you think you're too young or you don't have the vision for your entire business from here on out. God did not make bridges. He made valleys. And I've learned the most about myself and about my business in the valleys of it. I've learned how to become a better leader, how to know that I'm made for this, how to know I'm made for more, how to know that God has this plan for me and that I am meant to be in this business and I am meant to be ambassador. And I don't care if I have to lose rank or lose people or be told no or be mocked or be tweeted about. Like, I am meant to be here, and so are you. There is nothing that's on the inside of every single person on this Zoom that is not on the inside of you. So all of you young people on here, take it by the horns and run with it and be that next ambassador and be that leader that you're meant to be. And I hope that you took so much from this Zoom tonight. I hope that this is everything that you needed as a young person to be able to just like totally skyrocket your business. So like she said, get off this Zoom, take every bit of knowledge that you took from this and go apply it. Go watch the trainings, go watch this again, go to YouTube, go get all the stuff that you need in order to like completely rocket your business. So I love y'all. I'm excited for you. Thank you so much for everybody that did this with me. And go pour knowledge into your team that you took from this, since it was maxed out, but I will get this up on my YouTube tomorrow because it's on my cloud and I have to download it and all that crazy jazz. So have a super awesome night and go get to freaking work and go buy a conference ticket. Bye y'all. Love you.